Now then, welcome to Black Man Presents. Happy New Year. Did we have a good one? Splendid. Hope it went well. I hope it was a peaceful Christmas as well. Right, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Going to be reacting to the closure of MTV in the UK and Europe. It's quite disappointing, really, that it's happened. But I've got a news clip here from Channel 4, so we're going to be watching that, see what they have to say about it, because I mean MTV's been around for a good 40 plus years. It was a channel I grew up on, so it's quite sad that it's kind of closed, and the main channel itself, the actual MTV channel, is just it's not music. So let's watch the news story and we'll have a quick chat. Before that though, just want to say this channel's brought to you by City Live Radio, broadcasting online, Roku devices, smart speaker and the app, and Mixcloud across the UK, US, Canada and Mexico. And also Leo's Legacy is a great charity set up in loving memory of Leo, who sadly passed away at the age of 2 from a brain tumour. Go and give that charity a lot of love and support. Right, let's watch this news report, shall we, regarding the closure of MTV.
The Buggles song that ushered in the MTV age in 1981. It was a thinly veiled manifesto for an upstart American channel, where the biggest artists of the time clamoured to get their multi-million-dollar music videos in high rotation.
When that premiered in the UK, it wasn't actually MTV who premiered it, it was Channel 4. And they would only show it after 11 o'clock at night because it was deemed too scary for kids and more for adults. Shut up.
Where the biggest artists of the time clamoured to get their multi-million-dollar music videos in high rotation. Dire Straits heralded its crossing of the Atlantic in 1987. Satellite TV launched across Europe. And for the next few decades, it captured the zeitgeist and built careers. But with the rise of YouTube and streaming services in the 2000s, music slowly disappeared from its schedules.
I disagree with that. I really do disagree with that. Working in the industry, I wholeheartedly disagree with why I believe it's gone on its ass and disappeared.
Pioneered with shows like its groundbreaking The Real World and The Osbournes.
Both great shows.
I love you more than life itself. You're a man.
Now reality TV has taken over the main channel's output, with music videos relegated to several offshoot channels like MTV 80s and 90s, which are all set to be turned off at midnight. So did streaming kill the video star? Trevor Horn of the Buggles thinks so.
I think MTV died 20 years ago, if not 30 years ago. I know for me, it was only a couple of years that every time I got to America, I would turn on MTV and I would see what the new videos were like, see if there's anything interesting. And then I just completely lost interest in it. When you take something as interesting as a record and you make it into pictures, inevitably you're going to bump up against cliches all the time.
The latest figures from the music industry body, the BPI...
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from, but I still don't believe streaming... I mean, in all honesty, streaming is the future of TV, and it's proven that in the UK. But I don't believe that it could have been the end of music television.
The pictures, inevitably you're going to bump up against cliches all the time.
The latest figures from the music industry body, the BPI, show streaming grew 4.9% in 2025, with well over 200 billion audio streams. But it was an older technology, vinyl LPs, which led growth in physical formats for the 18th consecutive year. And the demand for concerts continued to rise, with 1.4 million British and Irish fans attending Oasis's blockbuster reunion tour, and Coldplay breaking the Wembley headlining record with 10 sold-out stadium shows.
Because people want to go see these bands. I've really... a little bit frustration sets in because they always go by, oh, well, people would rather go and see the live music. Well, yeah, we all do. It's something that's happened across the decades. Everybody's gone to see live bands somewhere. I've seen a few live bands. But it kind of wouldn't stop me watching the likes of MTV and things like that. It's...
British and Irish fans attending Oasis's blockbuster reunion tour, and Coldplay breaking the Wembley headlining record with 10 sold-out stadium shows.
I think we're seeing this real shift in people really wanting that visceral experience of music. There's nothing like seeing live music. And it is brilliant to see a whole generation again really discovering live music. But
I'm just going to interrupt Brains there. I don't know why they are using live music as an excuse for the failure of music television. I really don't. I just think it's just a piss-poor excuse.
Experience of music. There's nothing like seeing live music. And it is brilliant to see a whole generation again really discovering live music. But it is important that we're taking steps to protect grassroots venues in particular, because no one just goes from zero to hero. You have this whole journey, and it's really important part of an artist's journey to be able to perform in front of live audiences, big and small.
When the likes of Beyonce are filling stadiums and cinemas with concerts after having given up on music videos, and even Taylor Swift is designing hers for TikTok dance appeal, it seems the days of the music video are numbered. As the bells ring in the new year, MTV will quietly sign off, having platformed a period marketing tool for a generation of musicians, some of whom elevated it to an art form.
Right. I'm sorry, but I just find that... Who's done this research? Who's adamant that this is why MTV's failed? I'll tell you why MTV's failed, because it's gone from music to reality bollocks that's on TV. Yeah, it did it when it was about in the 80s and 90s with The Real World and the Osbournes, but there's far too much reality TV, and a music channel now has just dedicated its programming to reality TV and kind of sidestep with the music. They can't call it music TV. Bullshit. I'm sorry, but MTV was something that we grew up on. In the 80s and 90s, I got the privilege of seeing MTV in the 80s when it launched because my grandparents had cable TV, one of the few people across the UK, unless you had a thing called Rediffusion Television. That's how cable TV was broadcast in the UK before Virgin Media and Comcast and whoever else was took it over, the franchise, and put cable in nearly every household. So I was kind of privileged to be one of the lucky ones to be able to watch MTV. However, for music television, they have got so many ways they could have saved it. And they choose not to. They choose reality TV over music television. And it's all this crap about, online music, streaming, online music, TikTok and all that. Sorry, but music videos, people were imitating on the likes of TikTok and on YouTube, doing their own versions of it. Music video still has a massive thing to play in the industry. So for artists who are deciding not to do music videos, you're wrong. Keep doing them. People want to see them. And as using more and more people going to see live performances, we're a load of crap. We were going to see live performances back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, up until now. They said, 1.4 million people went to see Oasis. Yeah, because it was the reunion tour, because I hadn't been touring since the bloody 90s after the two brothers had the massive Barney with each other. And then when they reunited, everybody who was an Oasis fan went, I want to go and see them live. Because it was the first time in 20-odd years that they'd seen them all together on the stage again. So you can't use that as an excuse as MTV going on its ass. MTV have got itself to blame for doing what it did. When it launched in the UK and Europe, we had one channel, MTV Europe, and it covered everyone in Europe, the UK, Ireland, every continent in Europe. And because of some bright spark decided, let's regionalise it, we suddenly got MTV UK and Ireland that was showing completely different programming to the rest of Europe. Now, whether or not that was an Ofcom decision, that's a play, because, they were showing music videos and programming that was kind of inappropriate for UK television, because UK TV don't like even PG-related material uncensored during the day. You only get that after 7 o'clock on the night. I remember watching a documentary on The Prodigy. They were showing a programme that was an hour long, showing all the best bits of the background, behind the scenes stuff at concerts, showing you the music videos, which were even still censored. And then they were showing, obviously, behind the scenes footage where there were proper effing and jeffing. But nobody complained, because it was a TV channel aimed at teenagers who were using that language. But in the UK, you can't. Europe, not a problem. Now, MTV majorly failed when they started prioritising reality TV over the music. Now, in the 90s, like say, when a lot of us started getting satellite TV, we used to go out on a night, used to work. I mean, I worked in a cinema, and there was a group of us. If we were on the late shift, which meant like we never got out until 2 o'clock in the morning because there was a midnight showing of a film, we were still wound up, we were still hyped because it had been a good day at work, and we used to stay up all night watching MTV, watching our favourite videos come and going, love this song, love that. They even showed an Unplugged show where they had Nirvana Unplugged, Oasis Unplugged, Blur Unplugged, all these great bands unplugged. And it was fantastic to see acoustic versions of these songs, and MTV did that. They should have just kept all that up. And then we watched the Osbournes, we watched Beavis and Butthead, there was Dara, there was loads of different programmes just to break it up a bit. But MTV kind of continued with that break, and there were more and more reality TV programmes taking over, like Geordie Shore, Catfish, things like that, and they were just pushing the music out the way, so they couldn't really call themselves a music channel. In America, I watched MTV, they were showing films, Scream and things like that were being shown. That's not music television. If you're titled music television, stick to music and do the odd programme. Don't just do your whole schedule with reality TV and off the music side of things. That doesn't work. You shouldn't have been called MTV, music television, because you really had no music. And in the UK, when they separated it all, we then started getting spin-offs of MTV2, MTV 80s, MTV 90s and all this. And these are now the channels that have closed down. We've lost the music side of these channels because, again, they were showing music, but they're also showing repeats of reality shows. Now, MTV really should either have to change the name because, like I said, they're not music television, or have a massive revamp. Because I think it's crap that UK and Europe and Ireland have now lost all these MTV channels, and we're now stuck with music television that shows reality TV and not music. They should revert back to how they used to be with your video jockeys, your music-related shows like Ray Cokes that we had in the UK. There was it Dan Cortez? MTV Sports? That was superb. That was brilliant as well. But it all had music-related themes, all these programmes. And that's what made MTV great. You could watch MTV Sport, 2 hours of music, then Ray Cokes came on, a video jockey came on, you had MTV News, you had the MTV Music Awards. MTV was just an awesome channel. They should go back to that. Forget your reality TV programmes. There's far too much reality TV now. If you want to do a reality TV channel, do a sole dedicated channel to reality television. So people like us who are not that fussed on it would rather watch a music channel than be pampered watching a load of pissed up Geordies and making stars out of them. No. MTV is not like that. MTV can save themselves. It doesn't matter if the streaming, if streaming and whatever and live concerts take over. So what? That was all in the 90s as well. We had LimeWire, we had Pirate Bay, we had loads of streaming facilities, but it didn't stop us from watching MTV. It didn't. Going to see live, used to see a band on MTV, then you go and see them live because you wanted to see them live because you've seen them on MTV. So save MTV. Stop with all this bullshit and saying, oh, it's all down to streaming, it's all down to live. No, it's not. It's down to the channel and the operators of that channel making an absolute hash of it by not playing music on a music television channel. If you're not going to commit to music television, change your sodding name. Stop calling yourselves MTV when you are not a music television channel. End of. It's an absolute joke, a lot of the TV channels. And I'm referring to streaming as well. IPTV and streaming has come a long, long way. And they don't really advertise the fact. Pluto TV, you see the odd advert. But you've got, in the UK, you've got Pluto TV, Rakuten TV, Plex, all these, or Samsung Plus, LG TV. All these have live streaming channels from your free movie, sport, even music channels. And they're available streaming. So if you're blaming the likes of streaming, bloody join the streaming train. Get on there, get it out there. And in the UK especially, these channels aren't Ofcom regulated because they're internet-based TV channels that are just available via apps. So Ofcom in the UK don't really govern them, so they can show what the hell they like on them, uncensored, and it's down to the viewer whether or not they want to watch them. And they're great. It's given us more variety on TV instead of state-controlled television where you can't watch bloody, I don't know, Crocodile Dundee uncensored during the daytime. You end up with a butchered copy of it that's lost half its gags due to censorship. So music TV can do the same. They can go on internet TV and show whatever they like, show uncensored videos. It's there to be used, so use it. If you don't like how your channel's being controlled on standard TV, move on to streaming TV, because it is going to go that way. So there's no excuse really for MTV to do what they've done. There's ways and means of doing it, so they could have just done it. And now they've got rid of all the channels. I mean, we don't have VH1 anymore. We don't have MTV2. They were great channels. VH1, especially, and VH1 Classics was superb channels. But they just give up on them. Stop taking the easy way out. Just take a step back. Think, why is this channel failing? I know, it's because we're not showing music anymore. Go back to when it was great and show this next generation how good music television can be. Seriously. Right, that's my rant over. If you like what you see, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much to my subscribers, my patrons, my Buy Me a Coffee peeps, and also my super thanks as well. Very much appreciated. Right, that's it from me. I will be back with some more content reactions very, very soon. Until then, stay safe, keep smiling, and enjoy the start of a new year. Catch you later. Bye-bye.